Hello and welcome to the Faith Irabo podcast. Wherever you're watching us from, this is your girl, Faith Irabo of the Faith Irabo podcast. Welcome to yet another episode of the Faith Irabo podcast. How are you doing? I hope you're all good. I hope you're you're locked in for another wonderful edition of this podcast where we share life lessons. If you are just joining us and you've just stumbled on this channel, maybe on YouTube or on TikTok or on Instagram or even Facebook, I'm your host on this show. The Faith Irabo podcast is a podcast where we talk about real life conversation, life lessons, trends, interview with personalities and interesting personalities, interesting individuals, business entrepreneurs, people that have stories that we can learn from to tell. It could even be you that is looking at me. Yes, if you have a story to tell, do not hesitate to reach out to us on +336 85 90 41 71. This podcast is based in France, but we can have you interviewed from anywhere you are in the world. But if your story is a story that you think we can learn from, please, you're welcome on the show. So let's dive into today's episode of the Faith Irabo podcast. As you can see, I'm not really in a good mood because today's topic is about the insecurity and the health care challenge we have in Nigeria. You might be wondering, why do I keep talking about Nigeria? Because I'm based in France, I'm in the diaspora. Because Nigeria is home, because Nigeria is my roots, because Nigeria is in my DNA, because I am Nigerian, okay? So this podcast is not just because, okay, I'm now abroad, I think I'm settled. What is happening back home doesn't really affect me or concerns me. Yes, it's about trend, but it's also about checking out and looking out for what is happening to my homeland called Nigeria. Just a few days ago, Nigeria mourned the death of a TV presenter, an ex-beauty queen, may God rest her soul, Somi Maduagu. This pretty 29 years old lady's life was cut short. She wasn't sick. Nothing happened to this girl. She was healthy when she left for work on that fateful Sunday. She got back from work that Sunday evening, got into her house somewhere in Abuja, and you all know the story. About 12 armed men stormed the residence, which have a lot of blocks of flats, and they attacked one of the security guards who tried to fight back. This report was from the news media, the broadcast media where Somi used to be a staff. I'm talking about the Arise TV, okay? They narrated that the situation got terrible, that Somi, who lived on the 3rd floor of that particular building, was so scared and terrified and had to jump. You're out of the fear, panic. What panic can make you do? Maybe the gunshots, or she's been hearing people screaming. We don't know how that scene could have played out. But if you've experienced or witnessed armed robbery, attack, or seen, you understand that it is only normal for anyone to behave or react the way Somi reacted. She jumped out from her window and, she was injured in the process. It didn't end there. She didn't die on the spot. She was rushed to the hospital, and according to what we understand from the information out there, the first hospital rejected her before she was taken to another hospital, and sadly she passed. And this news, when I saw it on social media, it shattered me and opened an old wound that I've buried somewhere in me, that I don't share it to people around me, apart from my parents and my siblings and my, let me say my husband. It's not a story that I sit and I talk about. In the year 20, and my ex-boss and colleagues, let me tell you guys a story. In the year 2015, I think it was around February or March, I'll look for the article and I'll put it in this podcast. We're going, far back then I was with the National Enquirer as the news editor, and at the same time I was doubling as the project manager for the beauty pageant back then, which was the Miss Global Nigeria. We're going for a meeting on this fateful day, I could remember very well, a sunny afternoon, a sponsorship proposal meeting for the event, for the Miss Global Nigeria 2015 back then. On our way, I was in the car with my boss. I think two other of us, I can't remember how many of us were in the car exactly, but that experience still traumatized me, so I tried to blank it out. Our office was in Ogba, okay? We got out of the mainland, we got to the island, and we're heading towards, I think, Ofo Abayomi or VI. The article was in the news, so I'm going to post it for you guys to see what I'm talking about. And just before you know what was happening, there was this gridlock, there was this hold up. Everywhere was just jam-packed all of a sudden. And we're still like, what's happening? Why is there traffic all of a sudden? The whole thing was clear, we're driving smoothly, there was no problem. And to think there was a police checkpoint that is like 5 minutes away from where this scene happened, So it didn't even click what was happening. I was busy rehearsing the presentation we're going to have with the potential sponsor, okay? And all of a sudden we're hearing gunshots, terrible gunshots. It was crazy. And I won't lie to you guys, I was trembling, I was panicking. As at that time, my daughter was 7 years old, was just 7 at the time. I was a single mom. That is the story for another day. And in the split second when that thing was happening, my life flashed before my eyes. Like I saw the end, like this is it, I was going to die here today. The gunshots, these people were not wearing, I think some of them were wearing military outfits, like all these camo, yes, they were wearing these camo outfits, While some of them were just normal guys in jeans and all that. There was a bank in front of where we were. It was that bank that they were robbing. Everywhere was blocked. We're just talking and shooting in the air. If you move, if you know what is good for you, don't look up, off the car, and close your eyes or something. The whole thing was a mess. Why, some of them were already operating in the bank. Why we're still trying to even park or, stay safe or something, I heard a gunshot and I peeked from the window of the car. It was a Mercedes ML right in front of me. That girl should not be more than 10 years old. She had the tray on her head. And you know how you have these girls walking during the traffic or when there is traffic lights and all that. This girl, she can't be more than that 10 years old. To God who made me, they shot that girl and the tray fell off from her head. I saw this girl collapsed and die right in front of the car where we were. At this time, the car was not moving. Everywhere was blocked. Do you know that immediately I peed on myself? I peed on myself. And this was the point where I was praying and I was like, God, please accept my soul, forgive me my sins, please take care of my daughter for me and console my parents, help me console my parents, give my parents the fortitude to accept this loss. I already thought that was the end of it for me, especially because one of the armed robbers were sitting on the bonnet of the car. He was sitting on the bonnet of the car. I was sitting at the back. I've already gone down, on my like this, so that I won't scream out while I was just like this on the floor. Do you know that experience, the way everything went, that scene lasted about, they took their time. It lasted about, if I wasn't mistaken, more than 30 minutes. And that 30 minutes, looked like 30 years. It wasn't ending. And they were talking and they were shooting and you can't know who is dying. You don't know who they are injuring. You don't know who they've shot. I was just there. I was waiting for the one sitting on the bonnet to just open the car and finish me off. I've said my prayers and I've made peace with my mind and with God that this is where my journey ends. This was in 2015. Should I tell you something? After that scene, that experience, after they finished whatever they came to get and they left, They even emptied the ATM machine, if I wasn't mistaken. They broke it. These ones are professionals. And I curse you people. I curse you guys. All of you that did that day. I placed a cost on you guys, and I still curse you guys. You guys will die a painful death. To your 7th generation, you will know no peace. You will know no peace. That was how peace departed from me then. Do you know what happened after? After the whole scene, I just told the boss nobody would even go for any appointment anyway. Police came, but it was already too late. They even killed some police officers that were at the checkpoint that tried to intervene. They killed some of the police officers. I went back home. And if I tell you that for months, the only thing that happened at night to me when everybody is sleeping is I will be going from one room to the other to be checking windows. I will go to our living room. I'll check the window to see through the gate of the fence of the house to see if there's a criminal trying to jump in. I will go again and see if the door is well locked. I don't sleep at night. I start sleeping when I hear, the cock crows, or all these Muslims do their, the Muslim prayers. You hear mosque, that's announcement of morning prayers. Then that's when I'll now have this peace of mind that, okay, day has break. It's 4 or it's 5. That's when I will now sleep. Maybe I'll sleep for 3 or 4 hours before I'll now prepare to go to work. I wasn't functioning. It affected me to the point that I had to travel out of Nigeria to take that wickedness out of my head. And that was the day I decided that if God could spare me, I'm not staying in that country anymore. That same year I met my husband. And here am I today. What am I trying to say? Nigeria has failed so many. I'm not saying they send the armed robbers, but how is it possible that an estate, she supposedly, lived in an estate. They attacked an estate, about 12 of them. How did they get to that estate? And there were no checkpoints. Nothing could have preempted the securities in that estate that these people were coming to your direction. How would that have happened in a sane country? We'll say it can happen anywhere. We'll say it's possible now. Don't they rob abroad? But yes, if they even happen, okay, if it happened like that they rob abroad and they do this abroad, what about the health sector that rejected this girl? What about the hospital that rejected a 29 years old girl that was cut short in her prime? What about the hospital that rejected her? Would that have happened abroad? Let me tell you how it happens here. How it happens here, where I live in France. Even if you are the poorest person in the world, if you don't even speak the language, if you are in front of a hospital, lying helpless on the floor, or you go there on an SOS, or they just see you on the road helpless, they will carry you. There's something we call pompier here. Pompier is the ambulance. They will carry you. Is a passer by, a stranger will just call and tell them there's somebody on the floor on the road. They will carry you. They will take you to the hospital before they ask for who you are. What is your identity? What is your residence status? Are you an immigrant? Are you a refugee? Are you a passport owner? Are you a nationality? Do you have a nationality? They would have treated you first. Health first. All this one that they'll be telling them to go and bring police reports in Nigeria. Which police report? The thin line between life and death is something that is still beyond my comprehension when it comes to that police report that people always ask for in that country. If they have attended to this girl, she survived it. She didn't die immediately. That's why I said Nigeria failed her. They failed her. And it's so unfortunate. She was a lawyer, according to what I read, an ex-beauty queen that has represented Nigeria at an international pageant. And not just that. This lady, after her youth service, traveled to the UK. She relocated. And according to her own, interview that I watched, she was making much more money than she was making in Nigeria. But because she didn't feel satisfied, she went back to Nigeria. She loved that country. That same country brought her to an untimely death. So my point here is, to all of you watching this, if you're in Nigeria and you're thinking or still contemplating of relocating out of this country, my brother, my sister, please do not hesitate. Leave. For two reasons. Not because, oh, there's green. They will be saying, oh, abroad, what is even in that abroad? There's nothing there. Let's accept there is nothing here. But there is something here that we don't have in Nigeria. Insecurity and the health sector. You see those two things? They say health is wealth. Don't underestimate that statement. That statement is underrated. Health is wealth. When you have health and you have security, you have everything. How does it sound that you come back from your place of work and you're confronted with an armed robber? Look at Fina's sister. How does it sound that a young girl, a couple that has 2 children, her life was cut short because of an incompetent driver who does not have license? I'm not putting this on Nigeria, but the point is, if you have any opportunity to relocate, especially if you have family, if you have children, please take them out of that country. Don't be the sacrificial lamb. Don't be the Jesus of Nigeria to say, oh, I believe in Nigeria. Nigeria will be great. I also believe in Nigeria. Yes, let me be believing in Nigeria from distance, from afar. And when Nigeria is truly great, we'll do what we are doing. Am I not doing what I'm supposed to do? I am doing what I'm supposed to do. My podcast is not about French. It's not about the French country. It's not about the country where I live. It's not about the Europeans. It's about my own country. And I'm 6 hours away from that country. But I won't jeopardize my security, my safety, and that of my family because I want to prove that I'm a true Nigerian. Please wake up. If Somi had not left London because she believed in Nigeria, she wanted to become a politician and she relocated and she was doing fine with Arise TV. So sometimes money is not even enough to keep you alive in that country. Sometimes you are on your own, you are minding your business. Nigeria will just decide to cut your joy. When you hear them say, may Nigeria not happen to us, please be saying amen. It's not just a prayer for cruise. Be saying amen. The big people up there, the politicians, are their children based in that country? To start with, they all have international passports. Most of them give birth to children abroad. They give birth to children, they pay on the spot. American citizens, Canada citizens, they will give birth and come back home. And bearing in mind that boy, man, son, Yoruba, once there is chaos, they know how to, and they will get the information before you. They will leave the country before you know what is happening. So even if it is not to be richer, go to abroad to go and bring money to Nigeria. Leave for security reasons and for health reasons. Leave that country if you have to. Yes, that's my advice for you that is watching me this evening. If you are earning, for example, 5 million naira a month in Nigeria, you have a good job, you have a family, you have young children. Look at the other man that I watch his content sometimes. Blaze, or what's that man's name? That lost his wife, his pregnant wife, because he couldn't pay for hospital bill, and that woman died like that. Life cut short. That would never have happened abroad. It's not possible. It is not possible that she might die if it has been destined, but she won't die because of negligence or because she was asked to go and bring money. They will take care of you first in a sane country. They know how to track you. After you are sound and you are well, they might now start cutting it every month or every week or every year, or instrumentally you pay your hospital bills if you have to, if you don't have insurance. But for them to be putting us on this condition of police report, or they are rejecting somebody, or because they think they can't do you and they'll send you somewhere else. That man was in that video begging, Yawomi Joe, don't go, woju me, because one hospital rejected this woman because of how much is a life worth. They'll be saying, Japa, where are they Japa into? Japa, oh, don't think of it twice. Japa. Don't let Nigeria happen to you and let them be using you to do RIP on social media. Japa, if you have to, Japa. Just have your plan. Make sure the country you are going to, you have 1 or 2 people there that can put you through. Good people, not people that will mislead you. Japa, if you can. At least if you have children, if you have good job and you are earning good salary, instead of you to be living in that Lekki, that big Lekki, driving luxury car, come and be hopping on buses abroad and have security. Yes, I said so. Have a normal life here, but you'll be grateful to God in the next 10 years when you see your children complete and none of them is missing. When you look at your partner and you guys still have each other, not that death can't happen, and yes, death can happen anywhere, but there are some reckless deaths that are not worth it that is happening in that country. It calls for concern. Why do we have to be the sacrificial lamb? Why do we have to be the one that will be used to be telling the stories on social media? Why are they not using themselves? Do you think if you was a governor's child or a president's child or somebody in the high place that sin happened to, hospital would have rejected this person? No. They would have treated them. They would have given them the best healthcare treatment. Don't even deceive yourself. They would have flown her out of the country that same evening or next day if it's possible. So why are we still acting like we are the Jesus Christ of Nigeria? We are not Jesus Christ of Nigeria. Nigeria is every man for himself. Every man for himself. And we have short memory when it comes to bad news. Once it has happened like this, they will just rant on social media, RIP, RIP, picture flooding everywhere. They will move on. Everybody will move on. Give it 3-4 days. Everybody will move on. And one big debt, when there is no debt that is small, big. When the person involved is a breadwinner of a family, like this Somi girl now, I understand that this girl have a lot of young children she's sponsoring. One of our colleagues mentioned it in the interview when they were talking about, the good memories they've had with her. And that's really, really touched me. Who will be taking care of those children now? That's her own way of giving back to the society. And that society failed her. So please think about it again. And those of you that are doing Japada is when you have been in Nigeria, you are abroad, and you now say, okay, I'm going back to Nigeria and I'm relocating. That one is trending as well. Japada, they are relocating from abroad back to Nigeria. Hope you have think it through. Hope you think it through. You've given it a deep thought. Hope you didn't just do it because you are acting on impulse or because you are having a season where you are. Please, Nigeria is not safe for now. It's not. This is not to discourage anybody. If you have the power, if you have the means, take your family out of Nigeria. Please. I want to use this medium to also, send our deepest condolence. Arise TV, we commiserate with you, and we sincerely hope that the people, the demons behind this evil will be brought to justice. The Nigerian police, please wake up. If it's for your pride and your integrity. I watched the interview where you people are saying you are working together with the commissioner. Bring those people to justice. Because I know one thing about the Nigerian police. If they really want to work, they will work. Yes. Please bring these people to justice. This is unfair to the family. This is unfair to the Nigerian girl. This is unfair to a lady who left a comfortable country where she said she was earning than she ever earned in Nigeria to have relocated back because she believed in that country. This is unfair to her. Please get her justice. It will give the family some closure. Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? Are you following us? Please click on the link up there to subscribe to our YouTube channel, okay? And this is where I will be calling it a wrap on this episode of the Faith Irabo podcast. Take care, everybody. Until we come your way next time. Be safe and stay safe and be safe out there. Thank you, guys. Bye.